Good day, ma'am. So my name is Mike Albert Castillo Amores from BPED 2B. So our topic 3 is all about the global teacher. So the lesson objective of this topic is at the end of the chapter, you should be able to describe a global teacher in the context of global education. Number 2, analyze and compare the education of selected countries of the world. Number 3 is describe the multicultural diversity as an element of global education and the role of the teacher in addressing among learners. Number 4 is identify opportunities in teacher exchange programs for the world class teachers. Number 5 is describe global application of technology in the classroom. So global education and global teacher. Global education. According to UNESCO, a global education has a goal to become aware of educational conditions or lack of it in the developing countries worldwide. It also aims to educate all people to a certain world standards. Global education is a curriculum that is internationally in scope, which prepares today's youth around the world to function in one world environment under the teachers who are intellectually, professionally, and humanistically prepared. So, according to UNESCO, most of the students are most in the capsule. There are also program which is a students exchange where capsule main are also sending some students also to different countries also to learn about new things and also about international standards. The United Nations entered into an agreement to pursue 6 goals to achieve some standards of education in place by the year 2015 worldwide. To achieve global education, the UN sets following goals. Number 1, expand early childhood care education. Number 2, provide free and compulsory primary education for all. Number 3, promote learning and life skills for young and adult. Number 4, increase adult literacy by 50%. Number 5, achieve gender parity by 2015 and gender equality by 2015. And the last is improve quality education. The 21st century learning goals have been established as basis of various curricula worldwide. These learning goals include 21st century content, emerging content areas such as global awareness, global financial, economic, businesses, and entrepreneurial literacy, civic literacy and health and awareness, learning and thinking skill, critical thinking and problem-solving skills, communication, creativity and innovation, collaboration, contextual, learning, information and media literacy, ICT literacy using technology in context of learning so students know how to learn and how to use ICT. According to James Vicker of 1982, defined global education as an effort to help individual learners to see the world as a single and global system and to see themselves as a participant in the system. In his article, Goals of Global Education, Becker emphasizes that global education incorporates into curriculum and education experiences of each student and a knowledge and empathy of cultures and nation and world.
Education system in different countries of the world. According to the June Team Conference on Education for All, held in Thailand 1990, primary and secondary education is free and compulsory in many countries around the world. In most countries, education is compulsory up to the age of 16. The researcher will take the education system of some countries before coming to that in Mauritius. The education system in Finland, which is considered as the world number 1, is different to that in many other countries. Compulsory education starts at 7 years old with maximum of 1 year of preschool education. There is a national core curriculum, but timetabling and delivery are left up to the schools and teachers. There is no selection in terms of formal testing or national examinations at any stage prior to higher education until matriculation and of secondary education, which is required for entry to post-19 education. So in Finland, school does not begin for children until they are 1 years old. Dito sa ila sa Finland, wala sila homework kag wala sila standardized testing hasta makaabot sila sa high school. They have shorter school days. Students and teachers spend less time in schools in comparison to their American counterparts. Finland also provides 3 years of maternity leave, subsidized daycare and preschool for 5 to 7 years old, where the emphasis is on playing and socializing. Next is the education system in USA is also based on free and compulsory primary and secondary education. However, the ages by which children are compelled to begin and allowed to finish education varies from state to state. Typically, education is compulsory from first grade, usually age 6, to 10th grade, age 16. At the end of the secondary school, most students sit at SAT examinations in order to pursue tertiary education. So in USA, meanwhile, ang mga estudyante naman sa Amerika ang ila particular weakness when it comes to performing mathematical tasks. May mataas nga cognitive demands, like for example, taking real world situations, translating them into mathematical terms, and interpreting mathematical aspects in real world aspects. Next. Next is the education system in India. It's based on 10 years of primary education from age to 6 to 14, consisting of 5 years of primary education and 3 years of upper primary, followed by 2 years of high school. This is followed by 2 years of higher secondary education, and finally 3 years of college education for bachelor's degree. So in India, next is the education system in Australia is based on compulsory primary and secondary education from age 6 to 19 prior to primary education. There is a pre-primary education which is non-compulsory. After secondary education, there is tertiary education at universities or technical schools. So in Australia is ang main purposes naman sa Australia higher education are to enable individuals to develop their capabilities for effective participation in the workforce, for constructive contribution to society, and for the personal growth and fulfillment to advance knowledge and understanding. Next is the education system in Hong Kong. Consists of voluntary 3 years kindergarten, compulsory 6 years of primary and 3 years of secondary education, selective 3 years of senior secondary based on performance. Finally, tertiary education is offered at universities. So next, the education system in Singapore, which is considered among the best in the world, consists of preschool 3 to 6, compulsory primary education 6 to 12, secondary education 12 to 17, and tertiary education. It is worth noting that at the end of primary schooling, children have to take the primary school leaving examinations, which is highly competitive, and decides the secondary school allocated to a child. So in Hong Kong and Singapore, similar man sila sa South Korea. In fact, ilang main focus is also primary education, and they spend a good percentage of their GDP on education. So GDP stands for gross domestic product. And also the primary, secondary, and higher education levels are exemplary in their approach and work. Students' retention is a common practice. The education system has moved instruction further away from the rote memorization, the repetitive tasks on which it had originally focused, to deeper conceptual understanding and problem-based learning.
So I'm the next reporter. My topic is all about the meaning of education. So education involved the acquisition of knowledge and the learning of skills. The word education has two etymological sources, namely educare and educer. I don't know if my pronunciation is correct, but these two Latin origins are sometimes used interchangeable or Terovigadom et al. 2010, while some authors do make a difference between them. Educare means to mold or to train, while educer means leading out or leading forth, or to bring out and bring forth what is within. As a result of Terovingadum et al. Observed education in its true sense refer to the Latin word educer, which means to lead, draw, educe, and bring forth what is latent in an individual. However, the other dimension of education, which is educare, is also considered important and useful, since it allows to training of an individual where he or she acquires the necessary knowledge and skills for doing a particular job, thus ensuring materials progress at personal and societal level. Education is worldwide recognized to benefit individuals and promote national development. Educating females and males produces equal increases in their subsequent earnings and expand future opportunities and choices for both boys and girls. Research has shown that education is one of the most effective development investing countries and their donor partners can make. Education builds the human capital that is needed for economic growth. It also produces significant improvements in health, nutrition, and life expectancy, and countries with the educated citizens are more likely to be democratic and politically stable. Discussing regarding education's aims, especially its ultimate aims, is a primary and challenging topic in the philosophy of education, according to Johnston. Education contributes to individual and social benefits such as higher wage, greater life satisfaction, healthier individuals, higher national income, healthier population, and better functioning society.
Introduce to you the intensity of private tuition. So, private tuition in different countries is a phenomenon that has gained importance in both developed and developing countries around the world, such as in Nepal, India, Bangladesh, Jamaica, South Korea, Japan, Kenya, Sudan, Thailand, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, and Mauritius, among many others. In Malaysia, private tuition is known as a shadow education system, whereas in Japan, it is known as Juku. Private tuition exists as primary and secondary levels. Mainly, it can be offered to students on an individual basis, though it is very uncommon nowadays, and to a group of students which can vary from 5 up to 60. In some countries, teachers working with a group of students in school give the latter private tuition after school hours or during the weekend. This is mainly practiced by teachers of primary level. Initial research on private tuition showed that it is dominant in Asian societies due to the fact that the phenomenon has been largely spread there for a long period of time. Private tutoring have two ways, whether in person or in online. It gives a child the opportunity to take as much time as they need to explore difficult concepts, to fully understand their classwork, and can ask questions. Additionally, tutoring provides children a safe place to ask questions where they are too shy or embarrassed to ask in class. The term shadow education refers to as private education by informal education, institutions or tutoring informally by individual teachers outside from schools. So one of the best example is a fresh graduate of a teacher degree and she have no plan to get a board exam yet. What she can do is she can apply to any platform that accepts online tutoring that pays them privately and individually. This mode of teaching process nowadays is recurrently established by freshly graduate teachers, whereas they can be paid in their working hours, depending on the subject they are teaching. For an instance, if you are teaching a foreign student, which is now how to speak English, it is given to you that you are a PE major subject. However, you can able to speak fluent English and have good communication skill. So you are qualified to teach basic English. Hence, teaching is diverse, and it will depend on us on how we will going to utilize and bring off properly. Nevertheless, private tutoring does not involve any state. It is an independent contractor to get an income. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I am Reynel Ramon and I am the next reporter. What is cultural diversity? The cultural differences that exist in the world, a society, or an institution. Diversity of learners is a multicultural classroom, may differ in the state of the fact of being diverse, difference, unlikeness, variety, multiformity, or a point of difference. Like for example, race, kung din siya naghalin, like that. Second, ethnic group, like Aita, Ibanag, Ibatans, Tausug, and many more. Third is religious. We have a Catholic, Iglesia ni Cristo, Baptist, Jehovah, etc. Fourth is language. We have Hiligaynon, Bisaya, Ilocano, kag iban pa. And last is socioeconomic background. We have called high class, middle, low class. So that's some differences of learners that you will encounter in the near future. According to Banks and Banks 1995, multicultural education as a field of study is designed to increase educational equity for all students. So the major goal of multicultural education is to transform the school so that the male and female students, exceptional learners, as well as the students coming from diverse cultural, social class, racial, and ethnic group will experience an equal opportunity to learn in a school. Next is enables teachers and educators to give value to the differences in prior knowledge, experiences of the learners from diverse background, and familiarity with students' histories of diverse culture by Hertel 1998. So when we say multicultural education, it will talk about how we as a teacher or a future educator see or transforms these differences into equal na pagtanaw sa ng mga tao. So muna inyo tandaan that when we say multicultural education, whether there are diversities in your learners, you have to have multicultural educations, it means ang pagtanaw nyo sila binabalyo nyo ang ila differences nila prior to their knowledge, etc. And here's some responses to multicultural education. First is environmental adaptations of a classroom. Second, behavior support plans. Third, cooperative learning. Fourth, peer tutoring. And last is a team teaching. That's all. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I am Franz Michael Bunyo and today I'm going to report about accommodating cultural differences and commonalities. So, when we say accommodating cultural differences and commonalities, it refers to the process by which individuals may take on values and beliefs of the host culture and accommodate them in the public sphere while maintaining the parent culture in the private sphere. So, meaning, cultural accommodation occur as an individual adjusts to a new culture while also remaining a part of their parents. So for example, Suni is a student is speak in English while in school but speak their native language with their parents at their homes. Six is be sensitive and aware. So meaning, as a future teacher, we need to be sensitive and aware when it comes sa mga ginahambal naton nga para sa mga students nato, no? Kay kisa is nakakabuya kita sa mga words nga pwede nga makasakit sila or pwede nga maka-offend sa ila. So we need to be sensitive and aware sa mga ginahambal naton kag sa mga gina-act naton as a future teacher. So muna gaya, diba, as a future leader or a teacher, you need to be a good moral sa mga teachers, sa mga students na mo. So be sensitive. Next is never make assumption. Assumption is something you accept as true without question or proof. So as a future teacher, we need to make or do not make assumption, no? Okay, for example, my students, ikaw ang nagsugid simo about sa iya classmate nga nagubra sang kalain pero sa lagali ini, and then you accept this as true without questioning him if tuod ini or without asking him from any evidence if inigin obra mo. So ang matabo sa imo is to nag-judge ikaw sa imo students without knowing nga ang ginasugid sang students mo is gali about sa iya nga classmate. So never make assumption. Next is avoid stereotyping. When we say avoid stereotyping is it is all about sa mga gusto sang aton yung mga kapuyan. So it is very important to educate ourselves, no? And about different cultures and groups. It is very important to educate ourselves and continue to do self-assessment about our stereotypes and how they are potentially interfering with our interactions, no? So for example, the boys are forced to like the color of blue and then the girls is directly to like the color of pink or red. So next is get to know each students, no? So it is very important nga you need to know each of your students inside the classroom. Kay paano mo dabi mabalaan nga nga students is may ara siya nga potential sa muni nga bagay if you don't know about him or about her. It is very important nga tanan is ginatagaan mo important siya sa sulod sa isa ka classroom. Hindi nga kung sila lang ang dabi ang active and then sila lang ang permi approach mo is both sila lang man imo nga kilalahon. So next is look into your own consciousness and subconscious. So it is very important man nga as a future teacher may aral kita nga common sense nga ginatawag, no? If ini nga bagay sala, so we need to look in our own consciousness and subconsciousness. And number 6 is plan your activities. So when we say plan your activities, it is very important. It is because it gives students the opportunity to work and collaborate together to learn and grow from each and other. So next is infuse multicultural institutional materials. And number 8, collaboration and cooperation. So it is important man nga as a future teacher, we need to be collaborative sa atong nga mga students. That's why nga ang iban nga students, if ang ilang teacher is naging collaborative sa ila is ang student is naga-cooperate man sa ila. So we need the cooperation with our students para mag-cooperate man sila sa aton. And next is the guiding principles. First guiding principle is pre-service teacher education program. So muna sa ang ginatawag ng mga student teacher. So sa diri nga point is ang isa ka student is gina-train sa para sa iya nga future para maging isa siya ka professional teacher sa field nga iya nga gusto. Next is equitable opportunities. So from the word equitable, it is meaning is equal. So yeah, equal opportunities is very important man lalo na sa aton. Syempre, for example, may ara kang student nga muna lang sila yung active tapos ang ibang nga student is hindi active, di ba? So you need to be equitable opportunities sa tanan mo nga students para mabalaan mo gid bala kung sa diin sa ila ang may willing nga mag-learn kag willing nga matudloan. Next is social skills. So social skills, to process the learning, the skills is called socialization. So socialization is very important because lack of such skills can cause social awkwardness. So if ikaw naging isa ka teacher, kinahanglan nimo may ara ka nga social skills, no? Kay tungod gintawag ka nga isa ka teacher para maging compatible ka sa mga lain-lain nga klase ka situation. So muna dapat may ara ka social skills when it comes to teaching. Number 4 is curriculum, school curriculum, and number 5, eliminate stereotyping. And number 6 is values. So as a future teacher, you need to explain or teach some values sa imong mga students. It is very important to teach them some values. Next is basic assumption that will enhance teacher development. So first is not all learners are exactly the same. As a future teacher, we need to understand this. If this student is maalam and this student is hindi, so both silingon is they are not the same. But it's up to you kung paano mo siya matudluan and to give them equal opportunity. So next, children in all classrooms are heterogeneous. Next is strategies that work with one learner may not work with one another. So muna gani kinahanglan may ara kay nga social skill. Like for example, nga tudlo ikaw sang isa ka lesson and then ang isa mo ka student is hindi niya maintindihan. So dapat may ara ka nga another strategy kung paano ini ma-explain kag mapaintindi ini nga lesson sa iya. Tungod nga there are times nga ang imong strategy nga ginagamit is wala gani ga work sa isa ka student pero ga work sa siya iban nga student. So next is students' background and experiences should be considered when teaching. So it is very important man nga as a future teacher we need to be a considerate teacher. Like for example, may na-late ikaw nga students and then imo gin-obragin inakigan mo siya. So anong matabo si mo doon nagtawag nga doon nag-judge ka without knowing nga inagaling nga students nimo is may problema. So you need to ask that student naman damit na late siya. Hindi nga pag inakigan mo ang imong students tungod nga na late nga without knowing nga inigaling students. For example, muni na lang siya ang nabiling nga bata sila kag na may ginabuhi siya dabi nga nga iyang mga mangho, di ba? Kinanglan niya anay magkayod before siya magkadto sa school. That's why nga nagaka-late siya. And then next is community members and various ethnic differences and similarities. So we need to understand man nga every community members have the various ethnic differences and similarities, di ba? So when it comes to mga similarities ni kinahanglan nato is maging understandable sa mga muni nga bagay tungod nga ang if for example ini nga student is nagaling sa muni nga community, hindi sa ilang community is muni ang ilang culture and ilang similarities, and then ang sa piyak is may similarities man, so kinahanglan mo gid siya sa nga mag-adjust ikaw and then understand them. So next is community members can assist teachers in facing issues. So it is very important nga as a teacher, we need to get help or idea sa mga community members naton. So for example, sa parents ang aton nga students. So there are times nga we don't know how to fix this issue, no? So we need to get help and get some ideas sa halin sa mga parents ang atong yung mga students. So there's a saying gani nga hambal ni Confucius, yeah, all men are pretty much alike. It is only by culture that they are set apart. So thank you very much for listening. Once again, I am Franz Michael Bonyo, and thank you.